My solo adventure at the haunted lighthouse.
I'll never forget the night I spent alone at the haunted lighthouse. As I drove up to the old, weather-beaten structure, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement mixed with a little bit of trepidation. I had always been fascinated by haunted lighthouses, and the opportunity to spend a night alone in one was too good to pass up. As the sun set and the darkness closed in around me, I began to explore the lighthouse. The creaky floorboards and the musty smell of the old building added to the eerie atmosphere. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, and every shadow seemed to hold a hidden danger. Despite my fear, I forced myself to keep exploring. I climbed to the top of the lighthouse, where the view of the stormy sea was breathtaking. And as the night wore on, I found myself becoming more and more at ease with my surroundings. In the end, my solo adventure at the haunted lighthouse was a thrilling and memorable experience. I may have been alone, but I was never truly alone. The ghosts of the past were with me every step of the way.
Story number 2. At a haunted lighthouse.
Spending a night alone at a haunted lighthouse sounds like the stuff of nightmares, but I was determined to face my fears head-on. I had always been fascinated by the idea of ghosts and the paranormal, and I was excited to see what the night would bring. As it turned out, being alone at a haunted lighthouse was full of unexpected challenges. The creaky floorboards and the howling wind kept me on edge, and I found myself jumping at every noise. I also had to contend with the loneliness of being completely isolated from the rest of the world. But as the night went on, I began to appreciate the beauty of the lighthouse and the peacefulness of being alone. I spent hours exploring the winding staircases and musty rooms, and I found myself feeling a deep connection to the lighthouse keepers who had spent their lives in this isolated spot. In the end, my solo adventure at the haunted lighthouse was a challenging but ultimately rewarding experience. I faced my fears and came away with some unforgettable memories.
Story 3. The surprising lesson learned from being alone at a haunted lighthouse.
I never expected to learn anything from being alone at a haunted lighthouse, but as it turns out, the experience was full of unexpected lessons. One of the biggest lessons I learned was the importance of facing my fears. As I explored the creepy old building, I was constantly confronted with my own anxieties and doubts. But by pushing through my discomfort and continuing to explore, I was able to overcome my fears and come out on the other side. I also learned the value of solitude. As I spent the night alone in the lighthouse, I was able to fully immerse myself in the atmosphere and history of the place. I found myself feeling a deep sense of connection to the past and a newfound appreciation for the beauty of the natural world. Overall, my solo adventure at the haunted lighthouse was a life-changing experience that taught me a lot about myself and the world around me.